All right, well today what we are talking about today is the long-awaited, what I've been most excited to teach you guys about, the art of flight. So what are we talking about today? That is basically jumping your car. Now, in normal circumstances, you are very rarely ever going to encounter a situation where you need to jump your car. So for today's lesson, this is strictly for rally and off-roading use only. So, what does jumping your car entail other than, obviously catching air and going fast at it? Well, firstly, if you are going to jump your vehicle, first thing you should do is scout out what jump looks like and the conditions in the road area around it. Secondly, you're going to want to visually inspect your car. Yes, it is intact still at this moment for now. And verify that your suspension components are in decent shape at least, and that your braking components work, obviously. Now, jumping is a lot more complicated than a lot of people think. There are a couple of things that go into it, such as you're coming up to the corner, you have to have the appropriate speed for the jump. Secondly, you're supposed to lift off of the throttle as you are in the air. Obviously, if your wheels are moving at 80 miles an hour, but you're only traveling at 40 miles an hour ground speed, and you slam and destroy your gearbox. So, you need to make sure your speed is right, that you lift off the throttle after the takeoff, and you need to prep the brakes before coming off of the jump. So a normal jump will look something like this. What you are going to do is come in with the appropriate amount of speed, and while on throttle, you are going to gently apply some brake, just enough to get the front end to dip as you're coming up the lip. And as you come off of the takeoff, you're going to release both your throttle and your brake as to allow your suspension to rise again and hopefully keep you level in the air. Anyways, enough chitter chatter, let's hop in the car. Why is needing to know how to jump important? It really isn't unless you're in a racing situation. The vehicle, as you're coming up to the takeoff, you need to be on throttle as you're coming up to the top, right? You have to throttle on consistently and add more power as you come over the top until you're at the climax, in which point you lift off. Now, that is for the throttle. Now for the brake, this is why it's important to know how to left foot brake, is as you're coming up to it, as you get into that little bevel where it's about to compress your shocks, you're going to get on the brakes just a little bit more, just to compress the shocks even more, right? The more stored energy you have, the more usable energy you have to launch off the top, right? So you're going to add some brake as you're also getting on the throttle harder. That way it compresses the front end, but you're still accelerating up the lip. And then once you take off, you're going to lift off of both. If you don't lift off of the throttle, you can cause some serious transmission problems. So, just that. Gauge your speed correctly, all right? Obviously, as you come up off of a lip of a jump, if you don't stay on consistent throttle and you let off right before the lip, your car's going to want to nosedive, just like a motorcycle would, right? If you're not adding some acceleration to it, it's not going to take off nearly as level. Secondly, that's why the brake is so important, is because if you don't brake coming off of the lip, it could come off level as you need it to, but what could happen is as you come off, your front end lifts before your rear, right? Causing your front end to nosedive. Without hitting the brake, your car's gonna have a tendency to nosedive off of jumps, which is not good, which is why we add some brake. All you're doing with the brake is you're preloading the suspension. That way it gives you extra energy to lift you and the vehicle up. So as the jump comes up, you're braking into it and then lifting the throttle, or lifting off of the brake, right? So it all comes off level, right? Because that's what you want, is you want a nice plush landing on all four wheels at the same time, if at all possible. I hope that helped you guys. If there's anything else you guys have questions on, or any other ideas of what you guys would like to learn, let us know in the comments below. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves, as did I, as did everyone that helped film this. So I appreciate you guys. You guys have a fantastic day.